A very warm hello to my every little Montfortian. I hope you all are fit and fine at home and doing your studies well. In today's video, we are going to discuss chapter number 12, first part of Young Kalam. We have discussed this chapter in a grade, but now we are going to discuss in video also. So take out your books at page number 82, take out your pencils and keep on writing meanings of the words which I will tell you now. A bright-eyed, keep a finger. A bright-eyed boy with wavy hair was playing with his friend on the beach of Rameshwaram. Now here the boy is APJ Abdul Kalam. He was the 11th president of India. He served ISRO for 2 decades and he launched SLV-3. Now he was very bright-eyed. Bright-eyed means very active. He was playing with his friends. A seaside town in Tamil Nadu. There was a town near the sea, Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. The sweet sound of birds circling overhead attracted him. Now there was a circle of birds over his head and that attracted him. He keenly observed. Keenly observed means he was observing with very great attention. Fledging perched on the boat. Now one bird sat on a boat trying to fly. It slowly spread its wings, fluttered for a while, and soared up into the sky. Now he was watching the bird, how that bird was moving over his head, and that it sat on a boat, and then it opened its wing and flied high. The boy wished that he could fly like birds. Now, what was the wish of APJ Abdul Kalam? That he wanted to fly like a bird. So, since childhood, you'll come to know what is a child fond of and what he will or she will going to do in future. Like he was fond of birds, how they were flying. He was watching them very keenly. So, as a result, he launched satellite. His name was Avul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam. That boy was APJ Abdul Kalam. The full form of APJ is Avul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam, who went on to become the 11th president of India. Later, he became the 11th president of India. Young Kalam's passion for flying inspired him years to design India's first rocket SLV-3 satellite launch vehicle. SLV-3 was launched by, he was the project director in ISRO. It was launched by APJ Abdul Kalam on 18th July 1980, which was one of his biggest success of his life. Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 in Rameshwaram. He was born on 15th October 1931 in Rameshwaram. He belonged to a really middle class family. He was not a very rich child of rich parents. He was a very mediocre family. The houses on the sides of the narrow street were made up of limestone and brick. Now they are telling how his house was. It was made up of brick and limestone, and the roads were so narrow where he used to live. He used to live with his father, mother, brothers, and sister in their ancestral house. Ancestral house means the house which he got from his grandparents and parents on Mosque Street. So that was the area in Rameshwaram, the locality Mosque Street. He was living with his father, mother, brothers, and sister. It was a small, simple home built in the 19th century. That home was built in 19th century. It was a really very simple home. The family used to sit and chat in the veranda in front of their house. The veranda is the open space outside the living area or the rooms. You might be having verandas in your house. So the family used to sit there and they chat there and they used to discuss several topics there. Their discussions were based upon wide range of subjects. People from all over India visit his house now. So people from all over the India used to visit his house. The main room has some furniture. Now he doesn't belong to a very rich family. He just used to have a minimum furniture in his house. So what he used to have only minimum furniture, not fully furnished his house was, and he was having some books. There was a shelf in his main room and books were there. English and Tamil classics books were there. In a corner there is a shelf of books stacked with English and Tamil classics. So this was all about who APJ Abdul Kalam was, how he was so much fascinated and so much attracted towards birds, and what he became. He was the 11th president of India, and how his family and his house was. Now we are talking about his father. General Abdin Kalam's father was a pious man. Pious means religious man he was. Though he led a very simple life and he provided his family with all the basics comfort. He was a very simple man and he used to provide his family all the basic comforts. The main income for the family came from faring pilgrims. Faring pilgrims means moving people, people who used to travel, who used to worship from one place to another. His father owned a boat and all the people moved from one place to another because of that boat. That boat was the earning source for his father across the sea between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. So these are the two places between which that boat used to roam. Pilgrims visiting Rameshwaram also visited Dhanushkodi as the southern tip of the India. The occupation fetched a good income and the family led a comfortable life. Now that work was giving them a minimum amount of money. They were living very comfortably and they were having a good time. They had a good earning source, but unfortunately, a violent cyclone lashed the shores of Rameshwaram. So one thing, very bad thing happened. Unfortunately, very bad thing happened that one day one sea wave just lash mean broke that boat and destroyed their boat. The family lost their only source of livelihood. So it was a very big problem for them. It was a very poor condition for them because their boat was the only source of earning. Now the boat was scattered. Now the boat was broken. So they were facing a financial problem. So how APJ Abdul Kalam helped his family, I'll tell you in second video. Thank you. Read up till here. If you have any doubts, you can talk to me anytime.